While addressing an audience of 60,000 people at the Wembley Stadium in London, the United Kingdom, our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi said कि इस दुनिया में सिर्फ दो चीजें हैं जो मानवता के लिए खतरा बन सकती हैं। नंबर 1 सबसे जरूरी ग्लोबल वार्मिंग और नंबर 2 भ्रष्टाचार। Which means that there are only two things in the world which can turn out to be a threat for humanity. Number 1, very important, global warming or climate change, and number 2, corruption. Good evening, everyone. I was struck by the dramatic seriousness of his words, and personally, I have heard enough of his speeches to know that this was more likely to be an understatement than an exaggeration. I decided to pair up with one of my really good friends and enemies at some times, Deep Chandra. And we decided together to research on the topic of climate change, its causes and its effects. Our research has changed our views about climate change in a seriously lot of ways. For example, before we did this research, we believed that climate change was not a problem because the climate is just rising by 0.5 degrees centigrade. Who cares about that? Even my fever is generally more by 0.5 centigrade. We thought that climate change was just another way to earn money, because if we don't use plastics, we'll have to buy expensive metals and that costs a lot of money. We thought that scientists was just making a mountain out of a molehill, but after the research we found out how really wrong we were. Let me tell you, we researched about India because I'm an Indian. In India we found out that the coasts are the main places that are threatened. But before I go into my main research, let me tell you what climate change is. Well, if you take climate change through the literal meaning, it's absolutely nothing. Climate change means literally the changing of climate, as you all know. The changing of climate is nothing new. It has been happening for 4.5 billion years. The climate of the earth goes up, back to normal, down and again back to normal. Now what is worrying scientists at the present moment is that the climate is rising faster and higher than it has ever before. The temperature is getting more and more year by year, and if it continues in this rate, life on earth will not be able to survive for more than 350 years or even less. So this is what we refer to when we talk about climate change in general. Now let me tell you about our research. India has more than 13,000 kilometers of coastline, which includes states like Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Since I live in Qatar, and majority of people here are from Qatar, I mean from Kerala, that's a state in India, we decided to focus our research on Kerala, the coast of Kerala. We found out that there are three problems which threaten Kerala the most, and which are expected to have an impact in the near years. The first problem is overfishing, trawling and fishing of algae. This is a really big and the worst problem. Now everyone likes fish, even I like fish. But what happens in Kerala is that the fishermen are fishing more than what's required. For example, we take that if 1 kilo of fish is required per person in a day, then fishermen are fishing 1.5. And if we take it, if we multiply this 0.5 kilos by the population of Kerala, it's a really large number. Because of this, fish species are getting extinct. Did you know that in every 2 years, 5 new species of fish are getting extinct all around the world? And this is a seriously big number. At this rate, in 150 years, fishes are gone. And I really mean it. Then there's also the problem of trawling. Trawling means that they attach a net to their ship and then they just drag the ship across the ocean. In this way, they catch more than hundreds of thousands of fish in one go. This is also another very big problem. But wait, let me clear the doubt. Humans are not the only one who is responsible for the death of fish directly. Humans are responsible even indirectly for the death of fish. For example, we all know algae. Algae is a really useful thing. We use it all around us. We see algae all around us in various forms. Humans are taking out this algae from the water and then are using it on the land to earn money by making something of algae. So what happens is this algae performs photosynthesis in the water, and when it performs photosynthesis, we all know that during the process of photosynthesis oxygen is released, and because humans are taking out the algae, then the oxygen percentage will become less, and as fishes use this oxygen in the water to breathe, so the fish cannot breathe and they die, and these fish are useless. Because even after trawling, the fish that are already dead are taken out and thrown because they are of no use. This is a real loss. There is a solution. It's not a solutionless problem. The solution is an outright ban on trawling, more marine protected areas and no catch zones, because presently only 1% of the world's oceans are marine protected areas and only 2% are no catch zones. Trawling is banned in only some places like Canada, Alaska and the US, but we need some laws like this for Kerala as well. But only laws are not enough, we need to implement the laws. It's of no practical use if you just make a law and leave it at that. The law needs to be implemented and there needs to be a limit. For example, a person cannot catch more than 900 grams of fish per day for a person. Because if it's 1 kilo, you don't keep on eating fish, you eat other things as well. 1 kilo means 900 grams. This will help us to get rid of overfishing, and plus you must not be allowed to catch algae because you have enough algae on the land, so you don't need to go to the water to take algae out even to earn a living. Now coming to the second problem is water pollution, climate change and the rising of sea levels. In Kerala, the sea levels are rising at the rate of 1.75 millimeter per year. In 20 years, that works out to be 35 centimeter, and in 200 years, 350 centimeter, which is more than my height. So within 200 years, I'm going to be underwater if the sea level rises. This is because of industrialization. Because if we see charts and statistics, and if we look at the research of scientists, we find that all these problems started 200 years ago when industrialization started in Europe. For example, let's take the rising of sea levels, or we'll take climate change, that's more easy. Industrialization means factories. Factories means releasing of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases means trapping of heat. Trapping of heat means climate change. We'll take the rising of sea levels. We'll take water pollution. Water pollution. Industrialization means factories. Factories means the release of poisonous chemicals into the water. Release of poisonous chemicals into the water means water pollution. So if you take everything back to its source level by level, you come back to one single word, and that's industrialization. I'm not saying industrialization is bad. I'm saying industrialization has a negative impact on the society as well. So the only practical and workable solution for ending this sea levels before it affects is stopping pollution. Because if you stop pollution, then the sea levels will not rise anymore. But the thing is, they're already risen beyond our control, and if suppose we stop pollution at this very moment, by the time the stop of pollution will be ready to affect the rise of sea levels, it will already be too late. I'll be underwater, and I'm really important for this world. So what we can do is we can build a dam at a distance of around 70 kilometers from the shore, and such a dam which desalinates the water and then sends only 2 billion liters per year across. 2 billion liters per year is the amount which the entire Kerala needs for 1 year, based on the minimum water capacity calculated by the WHO. The rest water should be repelled and blocked. But here, if we implement this, we are faced with another problem. We take 95 kilometers. We take this as the ocean, and this is 95 kilometers. The sea level is this. When we send only 2 billion liters, the sea level here becomes this. But then the sea level here is going to become this. And this is another problem, because the places here which do not have dams, for example, we take the Arabian Gulf, it's going to be in danger of sinking. So then what we thought of, that we can send this water to places where there is scarcity of water. Like we consider in India. In India, cities like Delhi, or we take Mumbai or Bangalore. These main cities, the metropolitan cities of India, they have more people than they have water, and that's a fact. So this water could be sent here, or it could be sent to Rajasthan, where there is scarcity of water in the Thar desert. So this is a win-win situation. At one point you're saving lakhs of people in Kerala, and at the second point you're helping lakhs of people to live in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, or even Rajasthan. Now coming to the third problem, the destruction of ecosystems through tourism. Kerala is one of the top 10 most visited places in India, and the government of Kerala has more than 24,000 crore rupees of annual income through tourism. It's a really big amount. What happens is, because the government is really greedy, and I'm not abusing the government, I'm abusing the people. It's a nature, human nature, that we are getting 24,000, we want 25,000. Because the government is really greedy, not the government, humans are really greedy, we want more and more. So what we are doing is, we are building high-class hotels, we are building high-class airports, we are building beaches, we are using the land which belongs to us, which can be used for some other practical reason like farming, which can help feed the population. We are using our land for someone who does not belong to even our country, just for a visitor. And seriously, tourists generally come from countries like the UK or America, and seriously they have enough airports and 5-star hotels in their own country. They don't come to Kerala to see the airports, they come to see the natural beauty. So let them see the natural beauty, how it actually is. What happens is, you consider tourists like the king, and you are practically kneeling down Welcome, my lord. And what happens is they get a seriously wrong-headed opinion about our state, and what they do is they litter, they consider it as their own property. This is another problem. For example, you take beaches. If you go to a beach in the evening, you'll see lots of waste lying around. This can be eaten by animals, and if this is eaten by animals, it might cause them to choke, which again harms the ecosystem, because everyone knows that the ecosystem is really delicate. If even one species or if one layer of ecosystem is gone, then the ecosystem will really be in danger of. So the only way to end this problem is sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism is where a tourist comes to the country but tries to make only a positive impact on the environment and the ecosystem. And there's no tries about it. And the tourist makes only a positive impact on the environment. This can be done by using eco-friendly airports. Since Kerala is on the coast, we can use hydroelectricity to produce electricity. We can recycle paper and all that. And even the government has to make some sacrifices. The government, humans in general, should realize that the earth is more precious than a few hundred or thousand crores. Because you can earn money even after 350 years. But if you are so interested in earning money now, you won't have anything to earn because you won't be there after 350 years. So the only thing I'd like to say, I'm not saying that humans are the worst things that ever happened to this planet. No. I'm saying that in some cases we are really careless about our planet, and I seriously can't believe it. How can we harm something on which we live, which is the only place where life is found? Because according to present astronomical analysis, Earth is the only planet where life is found in the entire universe. Kepler 22b might be the only Earth-like planet, but signs of life are not yet confirmed. We have a very big lesson to learn from our neighbor Mars. It had life thousands of years ago. The possibility cannot be ruled out. We have even found ice on its caps. So can it not be that the life died out due to climate change? Don't we have a lesson to learn from our neighbor? Even though I know it might not be true, but still, can't we just take it as a working hypothesis and learn a lesson from our neighbor? Can't we stop climate change? Don't we care for our planet? Don't we care for something on which we live? So what I'd like to say is, everyone needs to do their bit. It's not like, I'm only 1% out of the 7 billion. If I just stop using one car, how is that going to make a difference? No, serious. If you stop, 2 people are going to watch you. Makes a total of 3. The 2 people are going to take another 2 people. So it makes a total of 7. And in this way, within a year or so, we can inform the entire Earth. So the thing is, one person needs to take the initiative. Everyone needs to practice sustainability. We need to care for our environment. Only then we have a future. Otherwise, there's no future for the Earth. We're over, khalas. It's over. Just try to search really fast. Try to search for signs of life on other planets and then transport yourself there. And again harm that planet and then search for signs of life somewhere else. It's of no use. You're spending a lot of money. Only thing I'd like to say is that care for the environment. Only then we can make the world a place to live in. Thank you very much.